So today I'm going to be filming a video telling you about how I got my A in my EPQ qualification and any advice and tips I have for you if you're doing an EPQ. This is EPQ level 3 and I'm going to be talking about dissertation because I know you can do other different things, like you can make an artifact, you can carry out research, but I did a dissertation, so I'm going to be talking about that. So, where do I start? My question was, my title or EPQ question was, to what extent has the London housing market been affected following Brexit? And I came up with this question purely because it's what I'm interested in, and I feel like this is what I'm going to start all my education videos on, do what you're interested in, but it's true because I was so interested in the topic. I did not at one point think, oh, I wish I chose something else. And I think that's probably the worst thing because doing a dissertation can be quite a long process, especially if it's the first time. So you want to choose something that you're interested in and you know that you won't kind of burn out. Also, make sure that your question is not too broad so that you have so much research, so much you can put in, but only a limited word count, so you can't like fit everything in. And you don't want to make it too narrow because then you're not going to have anything to talk about. So obviously choose something you enjoy, but also you need to make sure that there's enough research and credible data on what you want to research. So I obviously chose Brexit, and one thing that I kind of overlooked was that a lot of the research and anything in the media on Brexit is actually just news articles and not exactly fact-based, more opinion-based, which kind of was a little bit difficult to find proper factual research carried out about Brexit. So that was kind of difficult, so you need to make sure that you have a topic where you can get data from, and enough as well, because you're going to need quite a few sources. Another thing to take into account is it relevant to what you want to do at university? So I didn't know I wanted to do geography, but I kind of knew I wanted to go in that direction at the time which I chose my topic. Therefore it is kind of helpful as well. And it can benefit me because obviously when I was writing my personal statement recently, I basically blabbed for a whole paragraph about my EPQ and how it's helped me with other things, like how case studies have been relevant and all that kind of stuff. So it has really been a big player in the whole applying to university thing for me. So if you can choose something which is relevant to your university course as well, if you're going to university that is, then that is another good thing to do. So once you've entered the process of this, obviously I said before you need to make sure that when you choose your question you make sure that there's enough sources to kind of see you through your dissertation, but at the same time when you're searching for your sources you need to make sure that they are reliable and credible, because having a dissertation which links to so many sources which are like news articles isn't really the best. So for my dissertation, a lot of my sources were like from publications and stuff, but I made sure that they were from publications which were specialised. So for example, one of my biggest sources I used was a homes and property article talking about the effect Brexit has had on the London housing market, and even though it was an article, it was still specialised in homes and property, so I guess that's a bit better than maybe using a huge source which is from like The Guardian or The Times or something. So you need to make sure that your sources are from reliable origins. Obviously when you're collecting your data you're also kind of told that you can carry out interviews and stuff like that yourself to get primary data, and I did just that. I went to an estate agent in my area and I interviewed him for about 20 minutes and he was just basically talking about the London housing market. It wasn't necessarily all completely relevant to my EPQ, but it really gave me like background and just the overall insight into stuff. So I think that is important to you. So next you're going to obviously, once you've got your question, you're going to start writing your EPQ. And this whole process is quite long. Well, for me it was quite long. It kind of spanned over from September when we started thinking about it, and then October, November we started planning and writing. And then my final thing was submitted in March, April time, so quite a long time I think for one piece of work. Predominantly a lot of that was just planning and finding my feet, because I'd never written a dissertation before. Well, actually I had done the level 2 qualification EPQ, but that was so much more basic, so I thought that was completely useless in a sense to help me. This is so much more like legitimate, so it's okay to sort of be confused at first, but just one thing that really helps is if you look at examples, and it kind of guides you in the right direction. Also, if you have helpful teachers, just ask. Like, my EPQ teacher was relatively helpful. My form tutor, who was also doing EPQ, she is so helpful. When you're collecting all your research and stuff, all your data, your sources, make sure you cite them as you go along, to have an updated sort of bibliography. Do we make a bibliography? Did I do a bibliography? Let me check. Let me check. Yeah, so make sure you keep an updated bibliography and even a literature review as well. Make sure you keep all this stuff updated, because when you're actually writing your dissertation, you don't want to be searching, rifling through different websites again, and when you're writing it, compiling everything together, you want it all in one place and you want to be able to refer back to it quickly. I didn't realise this until the last week. I didn't start doing this until the last week before I had to submit it. But you just need to redraft. Just keep redrafting. So every time you redo something, you need to be like on it, because I was not on it for most of it, and then I kind of got called out near to the end, because I realised, wait, like my dissertation, it's no good. And in the last kind of couple of weeks, I started to step up, pick up the pace, redraft every couple of days, hand it in, make sure it gets perfect. And obviously you are going to be doing that more predominantly at the end of the process than at the beginning, but at the same time you don't want to leave it all to the end. I feel like I'm talking so fast. So just every time you redo something, just hand it to your teacher or email it, or get even a parent or someone to look over it and say, what do you think? Get their feedback and redo it again. And you don't necessarily want to redraft and then have not saved your previous version. Maybe save loads of different versions. Maybe if you've changed something, you want to change it back, you can obviously do that. So yeah, so if we look at the EPQ from an overall perspective, I would say that it is actually such a helpful thing, and I'm so happy I did it, because it has, first and foremost, I'm going to be going to uni next year, and next year, the year after, probably my 3rd year, I'm going to be doing the dissertation. Everyone knows about this huge uni dissertation. I now know how to write a dissertation, and I won't be as lost, because when I think about how lost I was when we first started doing our EPQ, even though you read other examples and stuff, what other people write isn't necessarily relevant, or it's completely different. So I read a lot of examples from other girls in my school, but they did like really scientific questions, and it was just so different to mine. So I was like, have I done it right? But to be honest, it is gonna, I don't know, it might feel like that for you, but it definitely did feel like that for me. I just felt like I didn't know what I was doing. I was walking in kind of blind. But it does take time, and the only way you can kind of speed up that process is to be proactive when you're doing your EPQ. So you need to make sure you're on top of things and you're trying your absolute hardest to understand. When you first start it might kind of feel like it's not really manageable with your other subjects, but that is completely not true, because that's what I thought at first. I was like, how do I juggle this like with my other subjects? But to be honest, you just need to manage your time. So make sure every single week you are giving a bit of time to your EPQ, because if, like me, you did it alongside your other 3 A levels and then you did a dissertation, it's basically, you need to treat it like a 4th A level, so you need to give it equal time, and if you give it that equal time and equal attention, you will find yourself doing maybe a bit better if you kind of ignored it. So that was, I hope it was kind of short. I don't know, it feels like I've been talking for ages, but hopefully after I edit it, it will be short enough. I didn't want to blab too much, I kind of just wanted to get like straight to the point. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope it was helpful. I actually really hope it was helpful, because I only make these videos because I think maybe other people will watch it and it will help them. Because I remember when I was doing my dissertation and I was looking on YouTube for videos, and there was literally like no videos about EPQ or dissertation. I was like, well, where is the content on this kind of stuff? We need it. But yes, I thought I'd make one. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much. So if you're not subscribed, why don't you subscribe to me if you want? And if you like this video, then feel free to like it or whatever. If you have any other suggestions about videos, then feel free to leave it in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time. Bye!